Since I'm going to be joining the Army and I have to be Army strong, I thought it'd be a pretty cool idea to do a maxing out video on all of our body weight exercises that we're going to do, such as our pull-ups, planks, dead hangs, all that kinds of stuff. I'll get more into what we're going to be doing. And it also just so happens that I recently joined a CrossFit gym and they're maxing out this week. So I thought, okay, so I get to max out on some of the body weight exercises. And then I also get to do some weighted max out exercises. That way I know where my strengths are, you know? So with that being said, in this journal here is what's gonna keep track of all of my progress and all of my PRs. Here, as you can see, we're in the month of August, so I have August. I got all of my body weight exercises that we're gonna do. So it's gonna be push-ups, planks, sit-ups, dead hang, pull-ups, lunges. I hate those, but we're gonna max them out regardless. And then our 1 mile run to see how good my pacing is and just to see how fast I can get a mile done, right? And then for our weighted, I already did my first class today. So we did do clean and jerks and I did 135. That is my max out. Once again, I always repeat this in my videos when it comes to exercising and stuff like that. I'm not here to impress y'all. I'm not here to lift some insane amount of weight. I'm just trying to be functional for combat and to be Army ready for whatever they might throw at me, right? So I have to be able to pick up, the fact that I can pick up 135 pounds and, you know, throw it on me and then do an overhead shoulder press, that's pretty cool, right? That's pretty good, 135 pounds. It's not that bad. Obviously, through this process, I hope I can, you know, PR that and do better the next time around, right? All right, so one thing to point out is, yes, while I am maxing out on push-ups, these are not what I'm going to be tested on in the BCT test, final scores or whatever. Right, so once I join the Army and I do the BCT, they're going to be testing me on my push-up hand releases. So I already made a short on that video. I'm not going to get into depth on it right now, but more or less this is just to see where I am at on maxing out on regular push-ups. Another thing is whenever we are doing the BCT, we have 2 minutes to do the push-up hand releases. Here, I'm not going to time myself or I'm not going to give me a time limit. I'm just going to do as many as I possibly can, no matter how long it takes, until I drop, right? I'm not gonna do any excuses, or I'm not gonna give myself any excuses, but we did work on shoulders today, but whatever, it's fine. I need to get used to this shit anyway. You know, they're not gonna give a damn about any excuse I have in the Army, so 29 is my max out. All right, so next up on our list is going to be the plank. And on this one, we are going to be tested on the BCT for planking. So this one is going to be timed. My wife is going to do the timer because I don't want to look at it, because if I look at it, I'm going to have the objective of like trying to get to the minimum, or it's going to distract me, or I'm going to be like, oh, it's barely been 30 seconds. I hate looking at time. It's always negative for me to be looking at time. I just rather do the exercise and just focus on trying to get through it rather than, you know, keeping track of it myself. So whenever we do start, she will keep track of that. Ready? Yeah. Let me know when.
Ready, set, go. Lower your butt.
All right, so 58.29 is my max. I'm 30 shy off of the minimum requirement. So I need to work on my abs a lot. I need to, what is planks? Abs? Arms? It's not arms. Is it arms? What was it, 58.24? 58.29. I'm gonna write that shit down before I forget. All right, so for our next exercise that we're gonna be maxing out on is gonna be our sit-ups. With that being said, I think the minimum requirement for like special forces or like rangers, I think it's like 60 sit-ups and then it's like 80 push-ups. I'm not 100% sure. I just watched a few brief videos on how to get into the 75th Ranger Regiment. But yeah, the goal is 60 minimum. Obviously, I want to surpass that whenever it does come time to execute that in the test. Right now, I don't know how many I'm gonna fucking be able to do. I'm gonna do these sit-ups without anyone holding my feet. I'm just gonna try to do it as best as I can and do as many as I can. Again, whenever you do the test, there is a time limit. For the sake of maxing out, there is no time limit. It's just as however many as I can do.
Easier.
But yeah, 16 sit-ups is my max. I am exactly, what, like 44? I'm 44 sit-ups away from doing the bare minimum for special forces, so. All right, so for the next exercise, it's gonna be a simple dead hang. So pretty much the concept is just grab on and hold on tight and just hold on to my body weight for as long as I can. So this one is gonna be another timed max out to see how long I can last on holding this. But yeah, when I go to BCT, I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be doing a lot of rope climbing, a lot of jumping over walls, you know, Rambo style and all that stuff. So I am gonna need to have some pretty decent upper body strength, and I do need to be able to hold on to my body weight as I'm dangling around on ropes and shit like that. So the concept and idea of this exercise is just that. Let's see how long we can do it for. How long was that? It didn't feel long.
16 seconds.
16 seconds? Not that bad, not that bad. I thought I was gonna only be able to do like 5 seconds. All right, so for this portion of the video, we're gonna be maxing out on our deadlift. Here you can see me just trying to warm up. That's why I popped off a few reps here. But pretty soon we're gonna start getting into the heavy shit, or at least heavy for me, right? All right, so we went up a bit on weight. Now we're at 275, and we're gonna go for another couple reps just to warm up before we do my 1 rep max. And again, I rarely do these type of exercises, so sorry for my form for all those gym bros out there. And here, spoiler alert, it's 295. Probably should have put that text toward the end of the clip, not to, so I don't spoil my max lift. But yeah, there you go, guys. 1 rep max. All right, so we're here at the track. Ignore my vomited t-shirt. I have a baby, I have a child. But yeah, so we're here trying to do now our max 1 mile run. So we're gonna pretty much time ourselves to see how long it takes me to do 4 laps around this track right here. So I'm gonna go all the way around. Got our starting point right here. Blue triangles. Let's see how fast we can get it done. In the military, I got to be able to do 2 miles in under 22 minutes minimum or maximum, right? Also, we're going to be using my handy dandy G-Shock here to keep track of the time. I'm not going to be using my phone. I'm probably not going to record much in this segment because I got to focus and maintain a rhythm and all that shit, because I suck at running. So I don't want to give myself any distractions to, you know, hinder my performance here. I don't know if y'all can see the clock there, but we did a mile in 12 minutes and 8 seconds. 12:08. Yeah, so 12 minutes and 8 seconds is what I ran my mile in. 4 laps around the track. Probably not a good idea to have done this after CrossFit. After doing a shit ton of fucking, what are those called? Where you pick up the fucking weight, you land here, you do a squat, and then you shoulder press. I don't know, some weird shit. Snatching, clean and jerks. I don't know. I'm too fucking tired right now. But yeah, 12 minutes and 8 seconds. It's not my best. Definitely not my worst. I mean, I used to do this in like 18 minutes to do 1 mile, right? So right now I'm at 12 minutes. The best I've done that I've recorded was, I believe, like 11 minutes and 30 seconds. So today was just one of those days where I showed up to perform and I couldn't perform. No excuses in the military. In the military, there are gonna be no excuses. So it's whatever. I'm just gonna have to keep working on my cardio, on my endurance. Gotta figure out a way to get faster with the mile run, because this is just 1 mile and I'm done. I'm fucking done. I gotta be able to do 2. And I have to maintain like an 11-minute pace per mile to at least barely pass with the minimum score. So I need to get faster, and then I need to maintain my endurance to be able to do the 2 miles, because it definitely kicks my ass. Being a well-seasoned fat boy and then having to do a shit ton of cardio, you know, to prep and all that stuff, it takes a toll. It takes a toll. This body was not meant for running, but we're gonna forge this son of a bitch to become a running body. All right, now we're gonna max up on pull-ups. This bar here is pretty short because I'm a pretty tall guy. I'm like 6'5". But yeah, so we're gonna try to max out as many as we can on pull-ups. I can already tell you, I'm probably only gonna be able to do like 1, 2 at most. Let's see here. 1. 1.5. We're not gonna count the half though. Here, let's try wide grip. Let's see if that. Nope, that does not help. All right, 1 pull-up. That is my max. We interrupt your program with these breaking news. Turns out I can do 2 pull-ups instead of 1. I did this at our CrossFit gym. We had to do pull-ups, and I maxed out at 2. And that's going to conclude today's video, guys. Hopefully y'all did enjoy. There are still a lot of things that I am going to max out on throughout this week and the following week, throughout this month in my CrossFit class. But since I don't want to do a whole month of recording and, you know, potentially lose any clips and all that stuff, so I just recorded what I could of this week's maxing out. And then the following workouts that we do, I'm going to be doing them as short. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, so I'm maxing out just to kind of see where my strength is at, and my focus is for functionability, you know, because I am trying to do the army and all that stuff. I'm not trying to be some massive bodybuilder that lifts a shit or insane amount of weight, right? I'm just making sure that I can do my body weight and plus some, and, you know, just be able to move around with that type of weight. So with that being said, guys, hopefully y'all did enjoy, and I'll see you on the next one.